Hi, good evening. This is Srinivas sir. You're watching Untold Botany. Today, let us have a glance on the formation of the peptide bonds. Peptide bonds are covalent bonds which join together amino acids in a polypeptide chain. Polypeptide chain is resulted in translation. The mRNA is translated into the polypeptide chain which will form a protein. To understand the mechanism of peptide bond formation, we should know the structure of amino acid. Actually, if you see an amino acids are substituted methanes where the hydrogens are substituted by carboxyl group and a variable group and an amino group in methane. So that we can consider the amino acids as substituted methanes in which we come across through an amino group, a carboxyl group and a variable group or side chain and a hydrogen. Of these, three substituent groups are common to all the amino acids. They are nothing but amino group, hydrogen, even the carboxyl group. And the one is R. R is a variable group because of which there are different types of amino acids. Apart from the R, all the remaining substituent groups are present in all amino acids. They are common to all. And the difference lies here. So here, during the process of translation, amino acids are joined together by peptide bonds. Peptide bond formation takes place under influence of an enzyme known as ribozyme, which is non-protein enzyme. Actually, enzymes are proteins, but this is not a protein, but it is an enzyme. This is non-protein enzyme, which is a catalytic RNA. It is also called as peptide transferase. Actually, this is a catalytic RNA whose sedimentation coefficient is 23 years. It is a 23 years type of rRNA. It acts as an enzyme that catalyzes the formation of peptide bonds among the amino acids of a polypeptide chain during the process of protein synthesis. So here, always the peptide bond formation takes place in between the carboxyl group of the first amino acid and amino group of the next amino acid. Like here, see, this is the first amino acid number 1, this is amino acid 2, 3, 4 I have done. Okay. Here, the peptide bond formation takes place in between the carboxyl group of first amino acid and amino group of next amino acid, means second amino acid. It takes place. Actually, this is nothing but a covalent bond which is synthesized through dehydration. So a water molecule is eliminated. Actually, OH from the COH carboxyl group and a hydrogen from the amino group together eliminated in the form of a water molecule, and in between the CONH a bond is established, that is called peptide bond, like this. So due to the formation of peptide bond, now two amino acids are joined together and this structure is said to be dipeptide. Dipeptide. Di represents the number of amino acids. So dipeptide, it is a oligopeptide which consists of two amino acids, one peptide bond. Now in the dipeptide, COOH will be free because here already COOH of the first amino acid and amino group of the second amino acid, they involved in the bond formation. So in dipeptide, carboxyl group is free. Now tRNA transfers one more amino acid to the site of protein synthesis. Now in between the carboxyl group of the this dipeptide and amino group of the newly coming one, third amino acid, one more peptide bond formation takes place. Again, same mechanism. A OH is removed from the COH carboxyl group of the dipeptide. Along with that, H is removed from the amino group of the third amino acid, and these two are eliminated in the form of a water molecule. Again, one more peptide bond is established in between the carboxyl group of this dipeptide and amino group of the third amino acid. Now it results in the formation of tripeptide, in which we come across through 3 amino acids and 2 peptide bonds. 1, 2, 3. 3 amino acids are there and 2 peptide bonds are there. Now if one more amino acid comes, again same will be repeated. Again a new peptide bond is established in between the carboxyl group of the tripeptide and amino group of the fourth amino acid. Again through the same mechanism, dehydration synthesis, one more water molecule is eliminated and a peptide bond is established in between this CO and NH. Likewise, along polypeptide chain, actually it consists of 4 amino acids, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can consider this as a oligopeptide. If more number of amino acids are joined together through the peptide bonds, that results in the formation of a polypeptide chain. So that we can see here clearly. This is first amino acid, second amino acid, third amino acid, fourth amino acid. So here this bond is said to be peptide bond, CONH, CONH, here also CONH. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 amino acids are there which are joined together by 3 peptide bonds, 1, 2, 3. So these are the bonds, 1, 2, 3. 4 amino acids and 3 peptide bonds are resulted. So the number of peptide bonds are equal to the number of water molecules that are eliminated, and always the number of amino acids will be more as compared to the peptide bonds. It is a tetrapeptide, 1, 2, 3, 4, tetrapeptide. In tetrapeptide, the number of amino acids 4, but number of the peptide bonds 3 only. Peptide bonds 3. Like that, a polypeptide is synthesized due to the continuous addition of the amino acids, and this will be synthesized in 5' 3' direction. And here, if you see a polypeptide chain, in a polypeptide chain, always the right end, at the right end, we come across through free carboxyl group. At the left end, we come across through free amino group. So that the right end is termed as C terminal, as carboxyl group is present at the right end, and the left end is termed as N terminal, as the amino group is present at the left end. And always here if you see the polypeptide chain, at the physiological pH, even this polypeptide chain, it exhibits charges also. Always here the right end is negatively charged as carboxyl group is present, and the left end is positively charged as amino group is present. Actually these charges are not present always, but at physiological pH it exhibits even the charges.